Welcome to Two Guys.
A girl.
And an MBA.
NVIDIA are planning to manufacture American-made AI supercomputers in US, and it happened for the first time. It's already like prepared all suppliers and placed in the US. And this supercomputer, it's not only about basic calculation, it's about AI infrastructure in the United States through partners. And in my opinion, it's not only about business, it's also about like military power, because who knows what can AI do in the future. And that's why it's one of the reasons why it's located inside of the country. And I think China will do the same. So the next step, the super AI computer will be only in China. And etc. So it's like each country have to have only inside something AI powered computer. And maybe tariffs, it's also one of the reasons that it's in the US located. But no, I think it like could be on the background sponsored by the government also. Like, hey, do it and just keep it home at home. And
So
who
here's
knows
some.
what will happen in this big factory. So just what the results, what's the outputs for all of us if we combine all this power in the one place.
I've actually sold a bunch of NVIDIA puts, and I didn't catch this news, but I guess NVIDIA is set to produce $500 billion worth of AI supercomputers entirely in the
Mm-hmm.
US, marking a historic shift in tech manufacturing. They have key partnerships with TSMC, Taiwan Semiconductor Company, Foxconn, Wistron. I haven't heard of that one. So they have these key partnerships in place to do I guess, the physical
Yeah, the
fabrication of,
supercomputer.
the
Yeah.
actual chips, and I don't know what goes into all that. The company will utilize AI, robotics, and digital twins, and they're trying to enhance supply chain resilience and position the U.S. as a leader in AI innovation. I think you're right, Elena. I think China's probably going to
Yeah,
flat
the
back, right?
response that they should
If
respond
they
like
haven't
it's like
already done
a
that.
new AI industry. So we didn't have in the past AI industry, but now it's already like announced AI industry. They have agriculture industry, textile industry, other kind of AI industry. It's like, wow, the future is coming. It's already here.
It's here.
It's
Yeah,
time to buy stocks of NVIDIA. How do you think? You sold them, but maybe you should
I,
roll back your decision.
I've sold puts, which is the same similar risk position to buying shares. So I've already made my bet. I've got a lie in it.
All right.
yeah. I think I watched this biography on Jensen, forgot his last name, who's the founder of NVIDIA. And you sometimes want to look at the founder to understand what the philosophy of the company is. And one of his biggest fears, he's paranoid. He took a bet, I think 10 years ago on AI in his chips, and he won the bet and became the de facto leader in the space. But also, he's at risk when he has exposure in China. And I'm going to blather on about China and why everybody's so fearful of China. And, you know, I think China was created by the West as the knockoff center of planet Earth. And I used to be in the fashion business. And that's how China started. You would go to Europe or Ibiza, you'd buy that great denim pant, and then you would ship it off to China, um, and train them in how to knock it off, like how to make it almost exact. And trillions of dollars were made by Westerners from like Tommy Hilfiger, Ralph Lauren, all major retailers in that transition of moving domestic production, even for garments, to China. And we trained them how to do really well because they built infrastructure, ecosystem. And rather than giving that money back to North American brokers or retailers, China said, we'll keep it here and sell it to our own markets.
Mm-hmm.
But now they're doing it for every technology. They know how to do it more efficiently. They can do it with electronics. They're doing it with supercomputers. But it's almost like we trained them to do it, and now they're doing it for their own benefit. And that's what this whole tariff trade war is, and all the near shoring going on right now, where Trump is trying to push everybody back into America. But we created that monster, and now they're just doing it really well, right? So that's probably what's going to happen with a lot of companies. They're going to try to move it out of there. I don't know if it's going to be successful. We'll see.
Talking about Jason Huang, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, Huang. And NVIDIA was found April 5th on April 5th, 1993. And he is like electrical engineer, Taiwanese American. And he was designer of microprocessor designer at AMD. But talking about, see, that's okay, Taiwanese American. Now I became worried about Taiwanese Chinese relationship, because also a lot of microchips and this power of production in Taiwan. And if China wants to have something similar and powerful, they cannot do without Taiwan. And how it, maybe they this time said, okay, we want get Taiwan back and make our AI power computer there. And they just come and take it instead of just to make some agreement about, okay, be our suppliers of microchip suppliers. So it's like a threat, one more threat for Taiwan-China relationship.
Didn't China take back Taiwan?
No,
Oh
not the
no, don't
fish.
say
Oh
that.
my God.
Don't
Okay.
say that.
I thought
Don't say that. Oh
Oh,
my
no, no, no,
gosh.
no, no,
You're
no,
gonna
no.
spark World War III. Oh my God, no.
No, in
Don't do it.
general, many,
I
many years ago, it was like China. But then it was like communism appeared, and part of Chinese, intelligent Chinese, who thinking about, we don't want to be a part of communism and everything. They just went to Taiwan Island and said, this is the China Republic. And that China became like China, not China, that I think only Soviet Union agree that communist China, it's official, and the rest of, and the USA and other countries, they accept Taiwan like a real, the
I,
predecessor of China,
I was thinking of
official.
Hong Kong.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and
Oh my Lord, thank God. It was that it happened last night. I was like, I woke up. What happened?
What
what
We
happened?
lost
happened? But
Taiwan?
uh, so it's like China and China.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
But
the
for me, Taiwan, it's more authentic China than that what we call China now.
oh boy. A good thing she said. So how she Elena's actually correct because they lost the war to the communists and they had an agreement with Chiang Kai-shek, who was the general in China. And when the communists and him had some alliance, they put each other in jail. Anyway, he left mainland China and occupied Taiwan, and all his followers went to Taiwan. And Taiwan is called the Republic of China,
Yeah, this is
and
it.
China is called the People's Republic of China.
Okay.
That's what they've been fighting for since 1940 something, is that, wait a second, the communists took over mainline. He went to Taiwan and started, and that's what Taiwan's origin story is. And that's why there's
Yeah.
always conflict.
Mm. And initially, Republic of China, which is equal Taiwan, was officially recognized by the world, the most
Yes.
of the world. And then after the Second World War, and okay, maybe this, maybe that, but it's not like the part of
No,
communism. Yeah. So, and that's why I'm worried about Taiwan. So I don't want that there will be any force or military actions which can invade the Taiwan. So
Going
Yeah.
back to the idea of the People's Republic of China, I follow economist Richard Wolff. He has an idea that China and the West struck kind of a grand bargain toward the end of the 20th century, and the deal was this. Uh, China said, we will give you cheap labor, we will give you ample factories and hardworking, very cheap labor, and we will let you bring all your production here and do it at a lower cost than you can anywhere else in the world. And we will also give you another thing, which is access to the huge Chinese market to sell into it. So you can bring your production facilities over to China, use our cheap labor, sell directly back into our domestic market, and export into international markets relative to China. The trade-off was we get the IP. We get your trade secrets, which Isvar was touching on. We get to know how you do things. Because we have to, because you're bringing your production facilities and processes and talent and engineering here. So we have to be part of that. And in exchange for us becoming the manufacturing center of the world, we want to be in the know. And at first, that didn't really pay off any dividends. But 30, 40 years later, China's emerging as an economic superpower of the world that's starting to rival the United States. So that was the grand bargain, just laying it out. Now America's trying to walk back that kind of economic competition through tariffs and trade wars, but I don't think it's going to work. You can't undo Chinese industry learning the secrets of American industry and now becoming more efficient and competitive. The damage is done.
It's interesting you bring up like this 30-year like game plan. They have a 30-year, 40, 50-year. If you look at how the Asian business mind works, they have a 50-year outlook where America has your next quarter. And that is a great example of what the problem is. If you play quarter by quarter against somebody who's playing the 50-year game plan, by year 30, you realize you just lost, right? And there's this book. I had to read it before we'd have to go to Hong Kong and negotiate. And they always said that you got to be careful because how that world works is it's very slow, then fast. Meaning the relationship takes a long time, but when they execute, it's fast. Whereas America goes in fast, and then they try to slow it down. Slow, fast is where the strategy is, and it's working. And now America's like, wait a second, how did we create this? Well, you did. So problematic. So awkwardly quiet.
The
What
end.
else?
I think that's good. We got China. Please consider subscribing below.
Thank you for being with us. Please leave your comments, feedback, what you think about us, and see you in the next podcast. Bye.